All right, y'all, we are live. It has been over a month since I've done a live for you guys. Been pretty busy. Been putting out some videos, but I've been on a couple of trips since then. Done a lot of different things, all sorts of stuff going on. But we're back on the live game. Going live today, obviously, and I might go live tomorrow, depending on what goes down. Might do some fishing with Bob from Anyfin. We'll have to see. But today we are out here at an all too familiar place. We're here at the State Game Lands Public Archery Range, and we are going to get the bow out, get it set up live, and we're just going to put some good focus and time in with the bow. One of the things that I always mention is that when I'm doing a live, I don't shoot quite as well because I'm not quite as focused on the actual shooting as I am when I'm just doing it on a video or doing it off camera. And today we're going to see if we can come up with some systems to make my archery practice while on live in particular more productive than it has been. It's better than not shooting, but we want to make it a productive time even when I'm not quite as focused on a live. We need to figure out some systems, and that's kind of the goal for today, figuring out how to get in a good practice session while still going live. The bow's not set up. We don't need any of that, so we need to pull the bow out, get it unlocked, all that stuff, and get it set up, and then we'll get rolling. Cole Region is in. How's it going, Cole Region? All right, all right, all right. Hopefully some more people start popping in here shortly. Go like this. Bada boom, bada bing. Sounds windy. Does that affect the shot? It is a little windy. I forgot my wind sock. Any marginal amount of wind when the phone's in this tripod configuration, because of the way it's set up, will sound like a lot of wind because the microphone is very exposed, and I forgot my wind cover. It does affect the shot, but this amount of wind isn't actually that big of a deal. It just sounds like it's significant because of the microphone configuration. So I'll see if I can find one in the truck. I usually keep a couple on hand, but I didn't find one at first glance, so I don't know. Hold on a moment. Yeah, the arrow. Yeah, it does. But it's marginal unless it's a decent amount of wind. It's just a little breezy here today. That really won't affect much. Unless we're shooting at 200 yards, then a little breeze can do a lot. But out to 100 yards, little breeze doesn't matter much. We need probably 5 mile an hour winds or faster for it to actually start affecting much. All right, so one of the things I'm going to start implementing. What bow is in there? What bow's in there? Sorry, I had to read that twice. We've got my Elite Terrain. I'm going to get it set up and go shoot it in a moment. One of the things I'm going to start implementing, which I used to do this and then I got away from it because I didn't think it mattered as much. It really does matter. I'm only putting up to 3 arrows in the quiver at a time because I think when I have a bunch of arrows in the quiver, I kind of get a little hasty and I'm like, oh, I'm just going to rip through these 6. So I'm only putting 3 in there, so it kind of forces us to slow down. That's one of the things I'm going to start implementing more and more in my practice. I switched to Oneida lever bows, man. No cams, no details, no derails. This thing, I put probably, I don't know, I'm guessing 10,000 shots through this. Never had an issue at all, so. Zero issues. All right, get the front bar on. In the current setup, I'm kind of experimenting with some of my bar weights right now to see what I like on my front and back bar. We got 6 ounces on my 6-inch back bar, and we got 2 ounces on my 12-inch front bar currently. That can always change though. So, all right. Start the day at 20. Just put a good shot down range to start the day. focus. See what we can do. Alright, first shot of the day is one of the most important, if not the most important shot of the day. So let's see what we can do. Sorry about the wind. I'll check on the wind filter in a moment. Slapping arrows at 20, which, I mean, we should be slapping arrows. It's only 20 yards. Put one more on that same dot. I'm aiming at the little red piece of tape. I think I hit it on the second shot. I'm going to aim at another dot because I don't want to break anything. Alright. Good group on the first two. Seen Ranch Fairy's channel, tried his high FOC arrow builds, awesome. I'm not a big fan of Ranch Fairy, for many reasons. So this last shot here, I did kind of, the first two shots are really what matters. I was trying to, midway through the shot process, I was ready to pull the trigger, ready to let an arrow fly on this middle dot, which I nailed on these two. Can I get those out with one hand? There we go. I nailed on these two. And then this one, I was about to go for this one, and then I decided that I was going to switch to this one, which is why it hit weird, because I changed my mind partway through. That's not really a good tactic for having good focus, is changing your mind partway through the shot. So I'm not too worried about that one. The other two were hitting arrows. The one that was right in the middle was the one that the other deflected off of. That's why it wasn't quite in the middle, but they actually hit one another, and that's why they weren't both directly on top of one another. So yeah, they hit the exact same spot. I gotta check the arrows for damage here in a second, because I did hit one with the other, so it's important to check for damages there. Yeah, so high FOC to a certain extent is good. You don't want like 5% FOC, you want like 10 to 15. But a lot of people lately have been pushing for super high FOC. I'm responding to David Solomon. A lot of people have been pushing for high FOC. If you don't know what that means, it's forward of center. So if this didn't have anything on the back or anything on the front, you could balance it directly in the middle. But because you have more weight in the front, the FOC, forward of center, is the distance forward of center that the balance point is, effectively. So a lot of people have been pushing for high FOC. I'm a mechanical engineering student. I've listened to a lot of science-based stuff about how you should set up your arrow builds and stuff. Super high FOC is not scientifically supported. It's just not. Higher than, between 10 and 15 is good. Anything beyond 15, you're not gaining extra benefit. So these are 14% FOC, I believe, and that's where I like to live. So I'm gonna see if I can find a windsock, because I know this is probably not great audio right now. Bear with me as I scrounge around. I might be able to just find something that will work, even if it's not actually one of my windsocks. I mean, we have an actual sock, which, believe it or not, will work just fine. In many ways, that'll do fine. Let's try that. Really not too bad with the wind. Yeah, I don't know, we'll see. Thanks for the whatever it is they call them, the virtual gifts. Thanks for that, Cole Regent. I appreciated that. I saw it, just didn't recognize it in the moment. So. All right, let's check these arrows for damage just in case. Okay, that one's good. There you go. Not bad. All right. It's important to check those when you have contact, because it could be pretty bad if you have a ding in something in the carbon and you go to shoot it. It could like literally just blow up as it leaves the bow. So you need to check those things. All right, let's do one more shot at 20 just to see what it feels like. Right. We'll flip you guys around. Focus up here. All right. Good shot. All right. Hey, Skeeter. Skeeter, it's not too long till I'm gonna see you. I'm excited for the meetup. Those were 3 beautiful shots from 20, as they should be. They were all beamed right down Main Street. This one I couldn't call necessarily down Main Street. There you go. So shot 1. That dot's practically worn out, but about half an inch from dead middle. This one, that one's pretty much dead down Main Street. 1/4 inch from dead middle, something like that. And then this one, boom, this one's about 3/4 of an inch from right in the middle. So good little group from 20 yards. Feels good to start the day like that. Now we're gonna head to 50 because 50's fun. My plan is today, depending on how I'm feeling at like 50, 60, 70, there is a gap. I'll show you guys what I mean, because nobody's here. I cannot do this if anybody's here, because technically you're not really supposed to, but if nobody's here, then whatever. So if I stand in this gap, obviously there's no pavilion here, and I kind of shoot angled, I can shoot at the 40-yard target from here, which is like 45 because it's at a slight angle. And if you guys see that field behind me, if I do it right, I think I can get a straight line shot out to like 100, which I've never shot at. So if we're feeling good, I will try 100 from in that field, which I think would be cool, but I've never done it. I don't know how accurate my sight tape is out to 100. We got to figure all that out. So yeah, we'll see. Did you ever get a cap for your truck bed? I did not. I just got the straight up truck bed. All right, let's go out to 50. Coming along with us afterward. Oh, for the Memorial Day thing? I think that's what you're referring to. Memorial Day camping. I'm not sure yet. So, all right. So this is 50. See what we can do here. Yeah, after Tony's meetup. Yep. That's what I thought you were referring to. Yeah, I don't know yet. I gotta figure that out. Alright, dial the sight tape to 50. Little bit of wind. Pretty good shot. Left and right is really good. It's a little bit low, but I have adjusted some things with the bow recently, so that might actually be real. That might not be me. We'll see what the overall grouping looks like once we're done. Practically in the same spot as the last one. I should be pushing and pulling a little bit more on this last shot. Let's focus on that. Take a breath and rock and roll. That was a little punchy, but it landed practically on top of our second shot. Oh yeah, guys. We're shooting really well today. Which means that if I want to try out to 100 yards, definitely can. This is 50, and it's a very nice grouping. As I said, I did adjust some things with the bow recently, so my sight tape is probably a little bit off now. I got to make another one. The overall grouping is a little bit low. The first one broke really good and it hit low, and I said, well, that might actually be real, that might not be me. And based upon the way this grouping looks, I would say that is real. 50 yards, boom, boom, boom. They're all pretty much, I mean, I can nearly get my hand around them from 50. These two are on top of each other. This one was the flyer. I can definitely get my hand around these two, and they are all at least an inch low. These are more like an inch and a half, 2 inches low. So I think that is real. Yeah, I think that is real. I don't think that's me. I think that is actually the bow is a little bit low after I made some adjustments. But yeah, we'll have to figure that out. All right. Step it back to, what do we say? I want to see what the angles look like at shooting at this 40-yard target right here from the gap. So this is what this would look like. I'll show you guys. Right there's the gap. So you can see pavilion that I would have to shoot through if I stood behind those. But I can shoot that gap at this target and stand in the field. So we're going to go try that. I got my rangefinder and all that. We can try and see what it looks like, what that angle looks like, what kind of our max distance from back there is. Start working our way back and see what it'll do. I think it'll be kind of interesting to see. Looking good fast too. I'm not sure what you mean, Cole. You'll have to tell me. I might just be missing something, but all right, so we are gonna go try and stand back here-ish and shoot the gap. Should be fun. So we'll start it. Oh, this is gonna be nuts. All right, we will start it right here. All right, so we are gonna shoot that gap at that target right there. I'm gonna range it. I'll tell you what the range is. '71 from right here, 71 yards. Yet again, my sight tape's a little off because I adjusted things. So that's 60, that's 70. Put it at 70. Hold it right on the middle and see where it hits. I'm not quite sure what to expect here. But yeah, we're gonna find out. Let's do it. A little bit low. Left and right's pretty good. Put another one in there, see where it groups. A little bit higher. I was slightly punchy. Do one more. Wind is coming heavy from this direction, so if anything, it'll be a little left. There's some significant wind now that's pushing my bow arm around, so my grouping's a little wacky, but it does look low overall from 70. Definitely some wind that's messing me. My bow arm's kind of going like this a little bit in the wind, so it's hard to keep it steady and do a surprise break. I've heard that in the wind is one of the moments where you might actually want to do a command shoot, because like it's just actually practical there. You just got to be careful with it. The better you get, the more you can understand when to use a command shot, when to not, all those things. So yeah, we'll go look at it. It does seem a little low, lower than our 50. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dial it to 75, 72, 74, 75, right there. Okay, we're going to dial it to 75. And then when we come back, after picking up those arrows, we're going to try it again. We're going to have 5 yards on and see if the group comes up, which obviously it should. But yet again, the wind was kind of messing with me, and now it's gone. Of course, now that I'm not shooting, it's gone. So put the bow right here. And we were shooting at the 40 from 71. And it was low and a little bit all over the place because of the wind. I don't know what the actual wind speed is, but it was definitely kicking my bow arm around. Here's the group. That's kind of a sad group, but they were all low. One of them broke a little bit weird, but 2 of them for sure broke in this general region right here, and they all ended up here. So I do think we need to add a little onto the sight tape, kind of the same as what we did with the 50. They were all low a little bit, so that should only be compounded out here at 71. So I'm gonna go back, take these 3 arrows, do 70 again, but with my sight tape set to 75, and see if that puts us in the zone, because I did think it would be a little bit low, and it was at 50, and it definitely was there. So we'll give it a shot. Woodsman, how are you doing? Haven't got to talk to you in a little bit, I feel like. Woodsman is very frequently in on the lives, but he's kind of a quiet background player a lot of the other times. So yeah, here's my bow. We'll go over my bow setup. I always do that during the lives for anybody who doesn't know what it is. I'll also go over all my gear real quick. Elite terrain, 32-inch axle to axle, set to 70 pounds. I've got a Trophy Ridge Trilogy slider, 3-pin slider. No axis adjustment on the second or third, but I figured out ways around that. I'll show you guys that in a future video. Kamsky Everest red line bar, 6 ounces on the back, which is a 6-inch bar, 2 ounces on the front, which is a 12-inch bar. Lock outdoor strap. I'm shooting a Cobra Moment index release. I've got my possum gear forager pouch with my Tideway rangefinder. I have my Roxant monocular on my strap to look at shots from far away, and then I have the quiver, which I made myself, and I'm shooting Easton 6.5 340 spine arrows. So, hey Nancy, we are going to go back and shoot some more long shots. I moved some things around on my bow, which I've been doing a lot over the past couple months, because eventually when we get to the fall and deer season's close, within the last 2 months or so before deer season, I'm not going to touch anything. I'm going to be like, well, it is where it is, and we're just going to shoot and get really good at that. I don't want to move anything, so I'm doing all the adjustments and tweaking and tinkering and all that now so that we can mess with that later. So 70 yards at that target, but we're shooting at 75 because the sight tape seems to be a little off, so we're going to see what we can do there. Seems a little too high now. That one did break pretty good. Put another one in there and then make an adjustment possibly. It could have just been the wind that was making me go low, like I was kicking my hand low. I don't know. Those two are on top of each other. Put one more in there. See if it lands in the same spot. I don't know where the third one went. It broke really weird. My hand kicked, the wind picked up, and my hand kicked right before it broke, and I tried to bring it back and it didn't quite work. The first two are like on top of each other. The third one, I don't even know where it is. We're gonna have to go look. So, fun stuff. You know what I should do? I should grab my bow stand so I can leave the bow here. Bow stand, and we can put it right there. There we go. So that way we don't have to carry it around. There she is. Ba-ba-boom. All right, yeah, I don't even know where the third one is. The first two are really good. Well, not compared to the dot, but yet again, I'm not even shooting at the correct sight tape mark because I don't even know where things shifted to. So I think the third one is in between those blocks. I think it lodged itself down in the crack. I think that's why I can't see it, but I'm not sure. Oh, it's up in the top right corner. It went all over the place with that wind. Pushing and pulling helps you resist the wind, but when it comes out of nowhere and there's like a quick burst, there was no wind and it just bursted right as it was breaking. There was nothing I was going to do to fix that. So these two right next to each other, that one's way the heck up there. Huh. Hey, Will. So yeah. So it seems like that is a little high. So maybe add 2 yards onto the sight tape instead of 5. And then we're gonna back it up to maybe 80. See what we can do, and we're gonna shoot at 82 or 83 yards on the sight tape from 80. That's the goal here. See what we can do. I haven't shot over 40 in a while. I haven't came out to the range in a month and a half or so. Just been shooting at the range out back of my house, which only goes out to 40. Good practice still, but I haven't shot past 40 in a while. Still, I'm feeling good. The wind is just kicking my butt today. Moving my bow arm around, all the stuff. There's the bow. All right, we're gonna go stand back here. We're gonna range 80, and we're gonna figure out where we are. So I can walk back into that field further and continue shooting this gap if I would want, but we're not gonna do that just yet. We're gonna figure out at least out to 80 and see what we can do. So this from right here, I'm ranging 83, so standing in front of the camera, that should be a good spot actually. All right, go grab the bow. Put 83, 80, we're gonna put 82 on the sight tape. 82 on the sight tape from right here. Let's see what it does. I don't think you guys can see me much. The air angle on that last one showed the gust made a difference. It almost completely sideways. Yeah, it also affected like my shot because my arm moved as it broke because the gust came out of nowhere. So, there was a lot of motion on it as it broke. It was going all over the place. All right, can you guys see me? I think you can. I'm gonna rip one. Broke pretty good. I watched the wind carry it. It's moving in the wind a lot. This is why people use, these are 6.5 arrows. Other than target arrows, these are about as thick as you can get. People like to use 5 mil or 4 mil for long range shooting because the wind really moves these thicker arrows a lot. So. Oh, that one's really good. I'm gonna try a command shot given the fact that it's wind, just see what it feels like. I don't typically do this, but I'm gonna try it. Pretty good. Pretty good. All right, leave the bow right here. Yeah, I don't hate the command shooting in heavy wind because my arm's moving around so much. And if you're careful to not slap it, it's just a more aggressive squeeze. You can do it. You just got to be careful because what I've heard and what I've learned as of recent is that command shooting is not bad. In fact, like the guy who won Lancaster Archery, Kyle Douglas, this year, he's a command shooter on compound. You can do it really, really well. In fact, it's the most accurate way to shoot if you can do it well. The problem is command shooting leaves the door open to anticipating the shot, which can really get into your head and get you all psychologically whacked out. So you need to be careful with it. People can do it, people can control it. I would only ever use it in limited capacities because I can control it for a little bit, and then I've experimented with it before. I can control it for a little bit, and then I lose control. So yeah, so this was the first one. Definitely got carried in that big gust of wind. 80 yards in the wind is definitely hard to control, but these two aren't bad. That was the dot we're aiming at. They're both a couple inches away, opposite directions, but that's not bad. 80 yards in the wind. So yeah, I mean, taking a singular command shot because it's windy isn't gonna kill you. It's when you start doing that all the time, start letting it become mundane, and you're not thinking about it, then your body will start anticipating the shot. It needs to be a very conscious decision to do it that way every single time, or else it won't work. It's very easy to fall into problems. So yeah, you just got to be very conscious of it. It can be useful. I'm kind of learning the different aspects of that and how all that works. I think that's important stuff to know. It is a sweet range. You're asking what bow? When we get it back out here to 80 yards, I will show you. Holy crap, look at this worm, y'all. It's a large worm. There's it to my arrows. It's a big one. Yeah, I'll show you my bow when we get back out here to 80 yards. I don't know how much arrow clearance I have with my current setup out past 90. So we're gonna try 90 and we will go from there. There's a lot of wind. This might be a terrible idea, but hey, sometimes you gotta risk it for the biscuit. All right, we'll show you my bow setup. All right, this is my Elite Terrain. There it is. It is a 32.5-inch axle-to-axle bow. I have it set to 70 pounds. Trophy Ridge Trilogy 3-pin slider sight. Hamsky Everest drop away. Redline bars. I've got a 6-inch bar on the back with 6 ounces of weight. 12-inch bar on the front with 2 ounces of weight. Shooting a Cobra Moment index. And then I got all my jazz over here, and we're shooting Easton 6.5s, 340 spine, because I don't need to shoot 300 because I have a short draw length. My draw length is 27 inches, so, which is in some ways unfortunate, but you know, a PSE. I used to shoot a old PSE that was given to me by my girlfriend's dad, but I have since upgraded. Pardon. Here for a moment. We're gonna walk into the field. Hey, Plywood, how's it going? All right, we're gonna try a shot from 90, which is back in the field. Just fun stuff. This might be the worst idea ever, but we're gonna have fun with it. All right. We gotta find the angle. Oh, sorry about this, guys. All right, this is the correct angle, so I gotta stand right there. We're gonna range it, see what we can do. All right, this is fun, y'all. You can barely see the target. There's my truck. Let's see. All right, I'm gonna range it, see what we're at. .2 yards. Do we rip it and just see what it does? I'm gonna rip one. This might be a terrible idea. I just maxed out the sight tape. It looks like I've got enough arrow clearance. We're just gonna try it. This could be bad. We're gonna see. It did hit the target. It's low, but it did hit the target. I'm gonna rip another one. Did I get arrow contact? I'm gonna try and see if I'm getting fletching contact on the underside of the sight. I don't know if I am, but we're gonna find out. Do one more. I gotta push and pull a little bit more on this shot. actually doing too bad here. The arrows are not close to each other, but we're shooting at 103 yards in a field in the wind. So I'm not too upset. With 6.5 millimeter arrows, mind you, so they catch the wind a lot. One more. You can watch that thing soar forever. I watched it catch the wind. I could see the back fletching, and it was going straight, and it slowly drifted probably a foot to the left by the time it got to the target. It was actually left and right was looking really doggone good, and it drifted probably a whole foot to the left. Good job even hitting the target, forget grouping. Oh, this is what I do. I love this stuff, man. Oh, man. Decent windage. Oh, yeah, there's a lot of windage going on. You can see all the grass moving when the wind blows. I put my wind sock on, or actually I put an actual sock on. So you guys probably can't hear the wind a bunch, but it is definitely ripping at certain times. Right now it's pretty still, but it was ripping on a couple of those shots. And even a little wind over 100 yards will do a little bit of something. 103 yards in that wind. Yeah, I just maxed out the sight tape. I think I was getting a little bit of arrow contact, which I don't know. There's this is a really big scope housing, so when I'm gonna keep this for this deer season, obviously, and maybe next, but eventually I'm gonna get a different sight, and what I want to do is get one that is has a smaller scope housing. That'll significantly increase my range. Yeah, that's definitely something I'm going to want to do eventually. Because, I mean, if I'm getting arrow contact at 103, 100 might actually be my legitimate maximum yardage on this bow. Which, I mean, is okay. You might have an 120-yard shot at tack that you need to just kind of wing it on. But otherwise, 103 yards or 100 yards is perfectly fine for me. I do have a shorter draw length, which is gonna make that a little bit tougher. So that is definitely a consideration. Let's put my bow down. Yeah. Shorter draw length definitely is a consideration for range. Eventually I want to have a bow that can shoot out to 130, 140 just because that's fun. Solely because it's fun. But this, I don't think can do it. I think I'm getting a little fletching contact there. So. Oh no. That last shot hit real low. It hit in the wood. Dang it. I mean, the grouping's actually not too bad. Like, we do actually have a pretty good gauge of where that was hitting. It is low. So, there's that. That's what it looks like. This is the one that was looking really good left and right. So it drifted from here to here. That's probably 9 inches. It had 9 inches of wind drift over the course of the flight. I mean, not a bad grouping in the wind. You gotta, I mean, this is kind of ridiculous that I'm doing it in this much wind. But, yeah. Yeah, that sounds great. See if I can, oh yeah. We can get the field point out. That's not too bad. We can twist that out. I mean, overall, not too shabby, man. That's all I'm going to do with that for today. I'm going to come back to 50, do something a little bit more reasonable. What time is it? 10:43. Someone's dialed in. Well, thank you. I'm trying. Oh. Yeah, there we go. Oh. This takes a lot of grip strength. Luckily, I have that. Oh my gosh. Oh, it's getting loose. All right. We're getting there. Get the field point out. Salvage the arrow. All right, we'll come back to that. Yeah, I mean, as I said, it might be a terrible idea. I actually don't have a mark on my sight tape for 100 yards. I just maxed it out and said, well, what does this do? And then I'm shooting in the wind in a field. Here, I'll take off the windsock. You can hear the wind. This is what I'm dealing with, y'all. So, yeah. Let's go back and do something a little bit more reasonable. All right. Let's get the sock back on. Bear with me. There we go. Sweet. All right, let's put 2 shots at 20 and see if we can like just hit some home run, nail the thing shots. Yeah, see what we can do right here. It looks a little low even from 20. Like, it looks like the whole thing, the whole shebang is a little low, which is the theme for today. So, yeah, that might be something we want to look at. We'll take a look at that in a minute. I just shot at my 40-yard pin because I was thinking about something else. Yet again, focus, focus, focus. Shot with my 40-yard pin at 20. Man down! The wind, y'all. I'm not lying about this wind. Alright. Let's go to 50. Do a couple P50. And then we can do some blind bails after we do a couple from 50. We'll do some blind bails from like 5 yards. Those are always fun. All right. Okay. Here's 50. Let me get the windsock back in order. All right, that works. Boom. All right, 50 yards. Dial the sight tape. We'll put it at 51. because everything was a little low. And it's windy again. I command shot that one because I was drifting so much in the wind. So it's interesting. It almost seems like you have to treat the first half of the shot process exactly like if you were going to do a surprise break, like get up there, let the float stabilize, and then say, I'm going to command this for it to work at all. It's yet again, shouldn't do that consistently because it'll come into problems for at least the vast majority of people. It's hard to control, but in this wind, that's kind of what I got to do. So that one was a failure. Yet again, I'm not good at command shooting. I don't typically do it. Don't really want to be good at command shooting. But I have to be able to execute a command shot if I need to. For hunting, if something starts happening really quick, you need to be able to execute a command shot effectively. In the wind, sometimes it's needed. That one hit a little low, and that was because of a little bit of anticipation. So it's hard to deal with, man. Props to Kyle Douglas, because if you can do it well, it's pretty impressive. All right, first shot, really good. Wind drift is left for sure, which makes sense because that's the way the wind is going. As you can see, both of them are left of center. This one came a little low. That was the anticipation by me. And then this one is good except for a little bit of wind drift. So, yeah. Feeling good. Let's go put a couple more turns on that one that's in the wood from 103 yards in the wind. For those of you guys just popping in. No, I'm not that bad. We were shooting through that gap back in the field 103 yards away in some pretty heavy wind, and the wind got to me on that one. The other two were not bad. This one, Yeah. That's how we got to do it. Put a couple turns on it and come back because that thing is tight. We're going to get it out. I've done that before in a variety of scenarios. All right. Let us go do some blind bails with these two arrows. Come back, and then we'll come back to 50, do a couple more shots, and then go back to turning on that arrow, and then we'll figure out what we want to do from there. Blind bails are always good. Good shooting session today. That's what we like. Last time I was out here, I was having a rough day. Today's a good day. Shooting well. I think, honestly, like, it really comes down to how much you focus. It really is just a mental game, and especially during the live when I'm taking breaks to talk to you guys, keeping on and keeping focused, and it's really hard at times. So if I can learn how to do that effectively, 3 arrows at a time, I think is going to help. And then I think things like taking breaks to do blind bails, taking a break between talking to you guys, like a little moment of silence, a moment to breathe before I rip a shot, is going to be really, really helpful. Okay, so here's how this is going to work. We're going to be at like 7-8 yards. Honestly, we should do it this way. I'll put you guys over here and kind of off to the side, and y'all can watch me. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to stand here. Well, you guys can't see me. That's not ideal. I'm going to stand right here. you guys should be able to see me just fine. So I'm gonna draw back. I'm gonna put my 20-yard pin on the middle, so it'll probably hit a little high from 7 yards, but I'm gonna put my 20-yard pin on the middle. I'm gonna close my eyes, and I'm going to just imagine staring down the middle of that target, trying to hold real still for 5-6 seconds. Then I'm gonna let it do a nice clean surprise break. I like to just refer to it as a break instead of a surprise break, because it's not really surprise. You're just not forcing it to go. So I'm gonna let it go off and see where it hits. It kind of shows you some of your tendencies in your shot form. Where do you like to drift? Do you like to drift low? Do you like to drift left, right? All these things. And it can be a really good focus tool. So we're gonna try this. Draw back, get it on the middle, get it hovering good, and then close my eyes. Alright, I'm not going to show it to you guys. What's interesting, you'll probably see about this, more than likely they're going to end up, these two shots are going to end up generally in the same place, and they're not on the middle of the target. They're going to end up in the same place because you have like little tendencies in your shot form of where you personally like to drift, and usually it's pretty consistent. It's a good learning tool. I didn't plan this, as I said. Check this out, y'all. When I closed my eyes, both of them were sitting, my pin was sitting on this orange piece of tape. They both hit right there. Who knows what my tendency is? Low and left, or low and right. That is my tendency of where I like to drift. See how close those are? My eyes were closed. You guys saw it. So that's a really good learning tool to help you all out. It helps me out a lot. Gives me information. Like, for example, if my shot breaks and it's high and left, something weird happened. That wasn't just me. More than likely something happened. Because it's not typical that I go low and, or high and left. I go low and right, as just indicated. So my up and down was actually pretty good. It was my left and right that did a bunch. So we're gonna try that again. See if we can get them a little closer. Draw back, close my eyes, let one rip. Same spot. You gotta imagine staring at the center of that target, trying to keep it there. There you go, a little bit closer to middle on that one. Matt, we're doing some blind bail training. I don't know if I've ever talked to you about this. That second one's not too bad. Definitely closer. So blind bail training, for anyone just popping in, including my uncle, is a technique where you go to really close ranges, you let your pin settle on the middle, you close your eyes, and then after 5, 6, 7 seconds, whatever it is, you let one break. And it kind of shows you where your tendencies are. Obviously, my tendency is to go right and a little bit low, which is consistent with what I always do. So, doing this and focusing, what you do is when you draw it back, you stare at the point you want to hit, let that settle there, and then as you close, you still imagine you're staring directly at that point. Stare really intensely at the point you want to hit, and see if we can get it there. Once we get one in the dot, I'd say that's a successful drill for the day as far as doing a blind bail drill. So we're gonna see if we can get one in the dot, or at least left and right wise, because we're using my 20-yard pin at like 7 yards. So it's not an exact science, but yeah. Let's turn you guys a little bit more. So yet again, anybody just popping in, I'm gonna draw back, let my pin settle. I'm gonna close my eyes, wait for a couple seconds and let it break. and see if I can hit middle with my eyes closed. It's a really good drill for stability and tightening up your float. Low and right, not quite as right, but a lot lower than typical. Here we go. Yet again, this only is information for you. This isn't like nobody's competing at this. This isn't going to help you because you do shoot with your eyes open, but it's pretty obvious what my tendency is, right? You guys can see this is where I like to drift. Everybody's is going to look a little different. They all started right here when I closed my eyes, and they all end up in this general region here. It's such an interesting thing. That's always where they end up when I do blind bails. Let's take a quick break. Let's take a quick break and go see if we can spin that arrow some more. So for anyone just popping in, we were shooting earlier in that field back there through this gap in the pavilions at the 40-yard target. It ended up being 103 yards, the furthest shots I've ever taken, and it was in some pretty significant wind. So they were going all over the place. I thought it would be fun. Against my better judgment, I kind of decided to do that. I was like, all right, let's just do it, see what happens. Two of them were pretty good. One of them, the wind got to me. I ended up low in the wood. They were all low, which I think has to do with, I was kind of guessing at where my pin is. I only have marks out to 90 on my sight tape, so I was trying to guess where it was. They all were low. They were all right here, and then this one ended up right here. Honestly, pretty good from 103, given the wind and given the distance. But yeah, this one ended up in the woods, so we're slowly working on turning it so we can pop out that field point. Oh man. It's close. It's very close. 103 yards, and it still has enough force to put it right in the wood. Very close. All right, take a moment. All right, go back to the non-100 yard shots. Do a couple more blind bails. They're more effective when there's not wind like there is now. I'm sure that's causing a little bit of extra movement, but it does actually do a really good job of showing my tendency, because even though the wind's blowing left, when my hand moves a little, where does it like to settle? Further to the right. So it's a really good drill, y'all. Really, really good drill. More blind bails. Yet again, for anybody just coming in, this is a drill where it kind of shows you your tendency of where you like to drift in your shots. I'll draw back from short range, let it settle in the middle, and then let one break with my eyes closed after a couple seconds of holding, and it shows you where your pin likes to drift subconsciously. So I'll show y'all. Draw back, let it settle, close my eyes, wait a couple seconds, let one break, see where it goes. For anybody who was watching us a couple minutes ago, you already know what my tendency is. Can someone guess where that one went? Anybody have a guess on what direction they went? With my eyes closed? Some of y'all who were in here earlier, I already showed this too. Usually when people do this, they do have a pretty defined tendency. Like everybody has one. And it's not like, oh, they're going all over the place. If you shoot for a while and you do have consistent form, you have a tendency. Mine's pretty defined. Mine always goes a little bit low and right. I'll show you where these two hit. There you go, blind bail shooting. Low and right, they're both right. That one's low, that one's pretty in line. Now what we gotta do, I'm holding for a pretty long time with my eyes closed today, longer than typical. We're gonna shorten up the time and see if I can get them closer to middle. We'll do like a 2 count or a 3 count with my eyes closed and see if I can get them closer to middle. Can you guys, I don't know how well the camera's picking it up. Can you guys actually see me closing my eyes? I'm not sure if you can from this distance. I think you can, but let me know. So if I stand right here, can you see my eyes are open and my eyes are now closed? Can you see it? I'm not quite sure. We're gonna find out. All right, we're gonna try a 2 count and see if we can get it closer. It should be closer, but yeah. Just low, not really right at all. All right, try again. Yet again, the tendency is very strong. It's not random. Much closer to middle, but look at this. Eyes closed, where do they hit? Right on top of each other, look at that. And the tendency, it is kind of crazy how, like, defined it is. It's not random at all. Everybody has a tendency, and knowing what it is can be helpful at times. Now we're gonna go even shorter. We're gonna do like as soon as I start pulling through the trigger to make it close, I'm gonna let it break. So what that does is, it's not even really working on my float. It's just kind of working on my awareness of center. Because what actually happens when you do a surprise break, it's not really a surprise, but like it goes off and you're not like commanding it to go off, you're not forcing it to go off. When it breaks, your body tries to do a little minor autocorrect. As long as it's floating close to the middle, it can make a little minor autocorrect. And that's based upon like the pin broke a little bit right, I'm gonna quickly push it a little bit left. But when your eyes can't see that, it's just based upon your focus on where that spot was. So we're gonna draw it back. As soon as I start laying on the trigger, I'm gonna close it. So I should close my eyes right before it goes off, but I won't actually be able to see as the shot is letting go. So it's a little bit different. A little bit low right, still. It is kind of crazy. It's a little bit low. As soon as my eyes go away, a little bit low right. Every time. A little bit low right. As soon as I lose my eyesight. It's kind of wild how definitive it is. See if we can get one to stay put. A little bit low. Not too right on that one. That's not bad. That one's not bad. So this is, you can see the shorter the time I have my eyes closed, obviously they get closer to middle. Yeah, I mean, they're still drifting a little bit. They should be hitting like that piece of tape from this yardage. They should be hitting dead on. We'll do a shot, just because I do know that my sight is a little bit off currently. We'll do a shot with my eyes open and see where it hits just as reference. Shot with my eyes open. Same yardage. Like Not even 7 yards, probably 5 yards. 6 yards. All right, so as I said, it is a little bit low, but we're in the piece of tape when I open my eyes. So like, we are in contact with the tape. And every single time, as soon as I close my eyes, even if it's just a second, we don't touch the tape, we're like here. So we're moving an inch in that second. Your hand really does like to drift if you don't know where it is. So that was with my eyes open. Yet again, we'll do another one that I close my eyes as the shot breaks. And more than likely, unless we do a really good job here, it'll drift a little bit low right, because that is my tendency. It's crazy, man. They're good drills, really good drills. They show you a lot. All right, draw back, let it settle, and then as soon as I start pulling through the trigger, I'm gonna close my eyes. A little bit low right. We're gonna step over here, do one on the right dot, because I don't want to make contact with the other arrow. See what it looks like. That one was pretty middle. That's a good one. That's probably our best blind bail shot all day. That one's real good. But as you can see, right, this is where the last one hit, right there. It's low right when I close my eyes. Even just a second, half a second, it drifts. You have a tendency. It's crazy. All right, now what we're gonna do is just called bail training. We're gonna do 2, 3 of these. This is simply doing close range shots without the bail. You can focus, or without the blind part. You can focus really, really intensely, because it's so close. Focus really, really intensely on executing a clean shot. Not about where it hits, about a very clean, very controlled shot. That's what we're looking for. Let's see what we can do. Right dot now. You can see how reactive my back hand is, because it is like a surprise type break. I'm not commanding those shots. Dead middle with my eyes open. Good stuff. Do 2 more of these. We'll go do some shots at 50. It's a very good drill, y'all. We'll do one behind and at the angle here, so you can kind of see. Actually, we'll do one sideways. I'll show you my full shot process. We'll break it down. I like doing this. So I actually have a checklist of things I go through in my head on every shot, as should every marksman of any kind. So like if you shoot rifles and you're hunting, whatever, if you shoot bows, if you do slingshot, any sort of things like that, fire a projectile with some sort of explosion, like not a spear thrower or a knife thrower or anything like that. You should still have a checklist, but it's different. But anything that kind of launches a projectile forward with some sort of explosion, the checklist should be kind of something like this: set up properly with consistent form, get your aim on the middle, don't worry about it moving a little bit, trust the float, just get it near the middle, and then slowly execute with control. You don't want to go don't want to anticipate it, because your body kind of goes like this. If I'm gonna slap that trigger, I kind of go tense up a little bit, ever so slightly right beforehand. Don't want to do that. Do squeeze, trigger squeeze with a rifle, with a bow, slingshot, all that. Just let it go. Don't force it to go away. Tell it it's okay to let it go. It's okay to go. And then continue that form, have a nice follow through, don't move directly after the shot, and you should be good. So here's my shot process, break it down step by step for the bow. So I get my release hooked, I push my hand sideways, horizontal, not up and down like this, because your wrist can move a lot that way. You put it horizontal because your wrist can't move a lot, helps with torquing the bow. Put your hand horizontal, put your thumb on one side of the grip, put your hand on the other, and push in. That natural position. Don't worry about it too much. Just put it in, push in, and then rest those fingers on front. Natural position of the grip. That's what we want. Then, smooth draw back. Once I'm smoothly drawn back, I lock in with my back muscles. I get to the back wall, and I kind of tense up, and I'm a statue. That's where I am. Then, I direct my eyes to my sight bubble. I'm going to check my level, get my pin on target, and as soon as my pin's on target, I'm no longer looking at my pin. I'm staring directly at the spot I want to hit, letting my peripheral vision have the pin in it. Just staring directly at where I want to hit. Then I let it settle for a minute, and I slowly pull through. I pull through the shot. My arms are going to react. My bow's going to kind of fall away ever so slightly. I have my stabilizer bar set up so that it'll actually sit still, but it'll kind of push forward a little bit. My hand will go back. It'll break apart, and then do a nice little follow through, and then that's the shot right there. You're just going to sit there, let it break, let it go away, staring directly at the target, not looking at your pin. Very focused on where you want it to go. Let it follow through. Let it do its thing. Once it breaks, your brain will make the minor corrections, and then that should be your shot. We'll do this one consistent motion. So do the draw, lock in, check everything, stare at the target, controlled all the way through. It'll break open, do a follow through, and that should be the shot. Here we go. I was actually a little punchy, believe it or not. After all that talking, I should have taken a break to reset beforehand. That's one of the things on the live that gets me. Do it one more time. I don't take a break to mentally reset after talking before I make the shot. So I'm going to take a break for 4 seconds, reset, and then just do it again and have it be better. I mean, still a fine shot, but it wasn't as smooth as it should have been. So take a break and then rock it again. There you go. Good. Good. That one, the second one was much better. That's one of the things I have to definitely start implementing. Definitely have to start implementing in my live streams when I'm doing archery, is take a mental break, a actual, like, not just like, oh, I'm just going to take a second. Like, no, take a moment, take a breath, think about, I'm resetting before I take the shot. It will help me so much, I guarantee. Hey, Wild Man, how's it going? Doing the first hunter safety class, did my first class out of 8 last night. That's awesome, dude. Yeah, I did mine online when I did it, and I took the expedited course because I know a lot about firearm safety and just general woodsmanship. I went through it in 3 hours, and I got like a 96% on the test. I think you need like an 80 to pass. So, yeah, I ripped through it, and it was, yeah, it's good stuff. And you only have to do it once in your life, so. Time is it? Let's figure out the time. 11:18. Okay, cool. I got to be back at my campus by 1:30 p.m. So we got boatloads of time. I don't know if I'm going to stay out here the whole time, but we'll find out. We'll see what I feel like. All right, we'll do this one more time. 2 good, clean. Oh no! I thought that might have happened when my phone fell down. I have a crack in my screen protector now. That's okay. That's why we have screen protectors. Yeah, I'll have to deal with that. But all right, we're going to take a moment. I'm going to tell you guys what I'm going to do, and then I'm not going to speak to you. Have 2 good, clean, focused shots. We are going to... Only question I missed was the safety never fails. I said false. Oh, yeah. I don't even know I don't think it told me what questions I missed. It just told me my score and said, you're good. You'll get your certificate in the mail. I'm like, great. I don't even think I know what I missed. And I don't think there's any way to find it now, so. I think 96, that's 2 questions wrong, I think. I think it's 50 questions, I'm not sure. I think it's different for each state, but who knows. All right, so I'm gonna do the process again, same thing. Natural grip, push in, smooth draw, lock in. I'm pushing and pulling against the bow, using that tension to kind of lock me in place. Smooth execution while staring directly at the spot I want to hit, nice follow through. I'm gonna take a moment to reset my brain, and then I'll do these shots for you, show you one more time. There you go. That's what they look like. I definitely think that it's mechanical. It's going to fail eventually. Yeah. And there's also stuff that happens. I mean, like, I think of, we own 2 22 rifles, my family. For you, those of you guys who watched the squirrel hunting video, you saw one of them. We have a Ruger 1022 that with a red dot on it. That's what I used for the squirrel hunt. But we also have a Iron Sights Henry 22, and the safety on that is really weird. There's a technical term for it. I don't remember what it is, but you have to cock the trigger halfway back and then like shift something into place and then like fully cock it back and let it fall back into place. Something weird about that. And I'm thinking to myself, like, that definitely could fail because there's a lot of moving parts that you have to use to just get it to actually engage the safety. That definitely could like not be fully engaged. It's probably on some sort of shear face, like my release is, right? It shears off. That's why it just breaks like that. That's probably how that safety works. I'm a mechanical engineering student and I think about this stuff. That could definitely fail if you don't engage it correctly. Definitely could fail. So there's all sorts of weird stuff. But yeah. All right, so that's what 2 good clean break, clean follow through shots looks like. I think definitely taking the time today to do a couple things. As I mentioned at the very beginning of this live, for any of you who are in here, there weren't many people at the beginning of this live. It's actually a light crowd overall today, but that's all right by me. It is interesting that at the beginning of this live, I was like, one of the things I want to accomplish today is figuring out some systems to put in place so that I can actually continue to have a good practice session, good focused practice session while live. Because one of the things that I've struggled with is I don't shoot quite as well, don't get as much out of the practice sessions while live because my brain's constantly in 2 different places. I'm not as focused. I'm talking to you guys and then I'm back to shooting. Talking to you guys, back to shooting. So one of the things I'm implementing overall in my shooting is like 3 or 4 arrows in the quiver, that's it. So that I don't shoot too many in a row and get into a bad habitual rhythm. The next thing is taking a definitive break between talking to you guys and shooting. Like, all right, I'm in the shooting mindset now. I'm going to draw, we're going to lock in, and then go for it. Like, not going, okay, I'm going to talk to you guys and then come on over here and draw. That's not what I want to do. I want to take a moment. What am I going to do? I do that a lot. I should do that a lot with most things. Because sometimes, if you guys watched the video from here when I was shooting against my buddy and we did some archery pig, one of the things I did is got up to a target, drew back, let one rip, and I was like, I used the wrong sight mark. Why? Because I didn't think about it beforehand. Get there. Am I ready to go? Yes. Am I locked in? Yes. Those are the things I can check. I need to get into that mindset so I can always be ready to go before a shot. Usually I'm pretty good. The hardest thing to do is talk to you guys and then go shoot. But like, it's going to help me so much everywhere if I can learn to reset before every single shot. Every single shot matters. There's no throwaway shots, right? I need to learn that and learn how to implement that, and I think that'll really be something beneficial. So, all right. All right, let's go shoot a couple at 40. Fire truck. Hopefully everyone involved in whatever's going on there is all right. I always pray when I see like fire trucks or police cars or ambulances ripping down the highway. I always pray. My prayer is always, Lord God, I hope that I don't hear about that, because if I hear about it, then someone probably got really badly injured or there was a fatality. So my prayer is always, Lord God, I hope that I don't have to hear about that, because that means that it's all right. All right, we are at the right site mark. We're at 40 yards. I'm gonna take my moment to reset before I take the shot. It's windy, so that'll be fun. The wind's ripping through here. I'm gonna take my moment to reset, do 2 from 40, and then go down there and do some stuff. All right. Whoa, wind is crazy. The tail end of that arrow, when it got halfway down range, kicked out like this and then had to recenter itself. That's a wild shot. That's why you have fletching on the back of arrows, by the way, because it can correct for stuff. I mean, it didn't do a perfect job, but it did correct. All right, there's not as much wind here. Let's see if we can do it. Same as 50, the grouping is low. I mentioned this at the very beginning of the live. I adjusted some stuff recently off camera on my bow, and I haven't like re-dialed in my sight. Honestly, those two arrows are stacked on top of each other from 40, and they're both low. The same as 50. That grouping was really good, our first grouping of the day, out from 50, and it is low. Oh yeah, this will definitely show you the difference in the one that kicked out with the wind and the one that didn't. Check this out, y'all. Look at it from on top. Yes, the nocks are like touching each other on the back. This is the one that kicked out the backside with the wind and had to recorrect. See how twisted it is here? And then this is the one that I shot with less wind. That's the difference. Look at that. That is crazy. There's probably, between the point of impact, there's probably 2.5 inches. And the back ends are stacked on top of each other. Crazy, man. And yeah, they're both low. Both broke really good. Both broke in the middle of the dot. They're both low. Same as our 50-yard grouping. I definitely need to adjust my sight. I made some adjustments to the bow, so yeah. Good morning. How are you today, brother? I'm doing well. We are shooting really, really well today. Other than this shot, which was actually from 103 yards and some heavy wind. The rest of the grouping was about a foot higher. They were both, all 3 shots were low. And then the wind kicked as I let go of that one. So from 103 yards, it didn't really have a chance with a little bit of wind interference. So I'm slowly doing my best to spin this out so I can remove the field point and just pull the shaft out. Here we go. We're very close. So unfortunately, this arrow isn't going to be salvaged anyway. It's got a crack in it right down by the tip. This arrow had a good run. This is one of the ones with the blazer vanes on it, which means this is one of the ones I bought in my first set of arrows that I got for shooting the blue compound bow that I used to shoot, those of you guys who watched my channel for a while. So this is like a 1.5 year old arrow that's been through 2 bows and now just got a crack. It's really minor, but you can't take the risk on stuff like that. So that is a arrow that I will have to strip some vanes off of for emergency vanes, pull the insert out of, and take the knock out of to salvage. But yeah, that's a goner right there. Designed a gyroscope stabilizer, typing my groups up tremendously. That's awesome. Yeah, like the Archery SOS system. Yeah, I wouldn't, for those of you guys who weren't in here earlier, I wouldn't be the first to judge my shooting on that shot. I have a windsock on, so you guys can't hear it, but I'll take it off. That's the wind noise today. There you go. I'll put it back on. And then that shot that I just pulled out of the wood was from 103 yards in that wind. So I wouldn't be judging my shooting capability off of that shot. Can't replicate buck fever though. Shot in front of my first deer, turned and walked right to me 20 yards. I was a mess. Yeah, I did a squirrel hunt, which was my first ever hunt, and I handled the pressure of actually shooting really, really well. Pulled off a really nice shot from 46 yards. I think it was 46 yards with the 22. So like, it's not shotgun shooting where if you hit the general area you're gonna get them. Like I was shooting a 22, and I mean it's just a squirrel, but that was fine. I didn't have any issues there. And I've done a little bit of like, I've tried to put myself in some high pressure situations, like steel target shooting where they have like steel plate and then a hole in the middle, so if you miss you destroy your arrow. I tried to do some stuff like that. I feel like I'll be okay. And I think, yet again, I always talk about this. Why do I go out and shoot at 70 or 80 yards? Because when a deer walks up on me at 17, if I freak out a little bit and shoot a shot that would have hit the middle from 70, it doesn't matter if it's off a little bit from 17, it'll still be in the kill zone. So like, that's why I'm doing this stuff, you know? That's why this stuff's important. Yeah, so JBL, you said you designed a gyroscope stabilizer. That's awesome. I'm a mechanical engineering student, so not just an archer can appreciate that, but also a designer and scientist type person who can appreciate that. 40 yards in the wind. The wind is not calming down for me today. Take a moment to reset mentally, and I'll rip 2 for 40. See if the wind will calm down for me. I command shot that second one on purpose. I mentioned this earlier in the live. For those of you guys who aren't here, obviously you want to try and like not command shoot for most people because it's really hard to control not anticipating the shot. But if you rip one every once in a while for a specific purpose, it's okay. The bow arm was drifting a lot in the wind, and I couldn't get it to stabilize. So I just got it to kind of go into the right zone and then command shot it, and it worked out really well. It has to be a very conscious choice to do it. Even the people who command shoot all the time just need to be very, very conscious of what they're doing. I mean, listen to Kyle Douglas, who won Lancaster Archery at command shooting talk about it. Like, those guys have to be very mentally on it or else it's not going to work. But it worked out well for me. It was a little high because, as we know, the overall group was a little bit low. So this first shot, which I did my typical surprise break in the wind, as you can see, it's turned a little bit. That's probably more representative of where it was hitting. This one hit an inch high. I actually made contact with the dot, but that's kind of artificial because the overall group should be a little bit low right now. So this one, believe it or not, this one's not low. That one's high. A little bit counterintuitive, but it's true. There we go. Do I still have that in my pocket? Where did I put that thing? I don't know. I had a fancy new product I wanted to try out today, and I don't know where I put it. All right. Good group from 40 in the wind. You know what would be fun is if I brought like a Vegas face one of these days in the summer, a nice calm day, put a Vegas face out on the 20-yard target and saw what I could shoot in a Vegas round. That would be fun. I've never done that with my hunting bow. That would be really fun. Vegas just happened. Bodie Turner won, which is not surprising to anybody who watches archery stuff. Bodie's like a year older than me. He's a stinking unit. He shot 90 X's, which are like the size of your pinky now. Over 3 days, he shot 90 of them in a row. Didn't miss. Never has happened before. It's like an extra incentive. That's not really the right word, but it's the one I'll use. It's like an extra incentive inside of the 10 ring. So it doesn't get you any more points, but it can like break ties. Like if you have a 900 across Vegas, which is 90 10s, and you have 29 X's and Bodie shoots 30 X's, well, Bodie wins. So it doesn't get you any more points officially, but it's like a tiebreaker type thing. It's kind of a weird system. I don't know why they don't do that. I don't know why they do it that way, but they do. Yeah, I've never shot a Vegas face. I mean, I'd probably be in the 9s and 10s most of the time. Actually, that's not true. There's a Vegas face at Lancaster Archery when you're doing the bow setup. After you get your bow tuned or sighted in or whatever, you can sight in there. I have shot a Vegas face there, but I shot like 3 shots at it, and I had like 9, 10, X. 9, 10, 10, X. So I'm in the 9s and 10s all the time, but the guys who are winning like Vegas, they don't miss the X like ever. It's ridiculous. Like if I hit a 9, one singular 9 in Vegas, I'm done. Like I'm out. So, I mean, those guys are pretty insane. I could hang with them for like, give me like 3 shots, I might shoot as well as them, but they have to do it over 90 shots, which is nuts. Alright, shoot 1 or 2 more for 40. That was beautiful. That was truly glorious. The first one drifted in the wind a little bit. This is actually pretty representative. So maybe they're probably a little bit higher than that first low grouping is, because these both broke direct, like they're directly parallel to one another. They're like on top of each other. Actually, one definitely drifted in the wind because it is kicked, or it like hit a little bubble of wind because it is kicked way above parallel. See this from the side? That's a really cool visual. It shows you this is like pretty much, that's what it should look like. And that one hit right there. The back ends, so it is interesting. So physics wise, the back ends, the picture on the back ends right there, that shows you, and they're like an inch apart. Right? Like 2 fingers apart from 40 yards. that shows you like where your shots broke, but the actual direction of the arrow is kind of impacted by wind and drag and all that stuff. So the wind was kicking these around. The back ends of the arrow end up lining up, but the front ends kick around. So those actually from the back look a lot closer than they are from the front. And that has to do with wind, not me. So I guess that's how that works. It's a windy day. This stuff's gonna happen on a windy day. Two really good shots though. They both broke very nicely. Go out to, what should we do? All right, first person to tell me what to do gets it. Your options are go to 20 or 30 yards and do some precise aiming challenges, like maybe pull some sort of piece of paper out of the truck and put it in the middle of the target and do that, or go out to 50 in the wind and see what we can do. Those are your two options. Let me know what the choice is here, what the selection is. Anybody got an idea? What's the play? What time is it? 11:40. All right, here's what we can do. I'm gonna go have a snack with y'all in the truck because I'm getting a little hungry. I'll eat the big part of my lunch, and then we'll shoot a little bit more and then head back to campus. And we can talk a little bit in the truck here. Alrighty. Put this right here. Do that. Bear with me, y'all. All right. Cool. All right, y'all. Let me know what you think I should do here. We can also talk about some other things. I got tuna. Forgot about that. I also have a couple videos coming up. I can let you all know what that is. And, yeah. Thank the Lord for this food. All right. So, yeah, I've been working on pretty hard on two videos in particular. I'm not sure which one I'm going to put out first. I'm kind of doing them simultaneously. I have the learning curve of my Gyutaku experience, which a lot of you probably don't even know what that is, but it's Japanese art form of fish printing. And I've been working on that over the last year or so. I've been doing multiple different prints of fish I've caught and kept for a variety of reasons. And I'm pretty much done that video, so that one should be coming out shortly. I think I might do that one before the other. And then as it starts to warm up here, I have a video of a kayak camping trip I did last spring, or last summer rather. I'm going to release that one. And then I got a bunch of other stuff coming out, and then a bunch of other stuff that I'm going to start working on once summer hits. So lots of videos coming your way, lots of cool shorts coming your way, some more Florida stuff. I'm going to have the snorkeling short from when we snorkeled in Florida coming out shortly, all that sort of stuff. It should be a good time. But yeah, I'm constantly working on stuff for you guys, as well as a bunch of other stuff. Those of you who don't know, I'm a college student in mechanical engineering, so I got lots of college work to do, of course. I play at the worship band at church. I'm involved in a club called Disciple Makers, a ministry program on my campus, all sorts of stuff. So I'm always working on something. I don't really ever slow down. From the moment I wake up to the moment I go to bed, I only have about an hour that I lollygag, an hour or two that I lollygag every day. All right, y'all. Anybody ever had this stuff? This is like the best yogurt ever. I think it has a bunch of sugar in it in terms of yogurts go, which is why it's good. Let me look. 9 grams of added sugar. That's actually not that bad. It's very creamy. It's very good yogurt. I like the Chobani drinkable yogurts too. One of the things that people don't consider is how important nutrition is as an outdoorsman. Nutrition is really important. You're moving a lot more and doing a lot more physical activity and a lot of outdoor activities than people give it credit for. I mean, gold panning, that's a big strenuous thing. If you're actually hand panning, collecting the material, flipping over rocks, all that can be strenuous. Hunting, especially moving hunting, like squirrel hunting, you're walking a lot. I've been doing a lot of shed hunting recently, hunting for shed antlers. That can be a lot of walking, a lot of cardio. Shooting a bow takes a good amount of strength. I mean, that's a 70-pound bow. Every time I pull that back, it's like doing a dumbbell row or whatever. There's all this different stuff. So nutrition is important for outdoor performance. So I take pretty good care of my nutrition. I have my yogurt. I got some tuna salad today. I got an apple, some nut and berry mix, granola bars, and then my treat is a little oatmeal pie. So yeah, just eat a little bit of lunch. I'm not going to eat everything now, but eat a little bit so that I'm going to try and leave the things that I can eat with one hand so that I can eat them while I'm driving back to campus. I'm going to try and leave those so we can get back out there, shoot a little bit longer, and then head back to campus. I need to be back on campus by like 1:15 so I can get somewhere. I have a meeting at 1:30 with some group members for a project. So I got to be back on campus at 1:30. And yeah, which campus is 15 minutes, or 1:15. So I got to leave by 1. What time is it? Okay, so we got like a whole hour to waste if we want to, but I don't know if I'm going to spend that whole hour out here. All right. Tuna salad with crackers. Do that, and then do that. Maybe our nut mix, because that's hard to handle with one hand, and our apple. And then we'll get back to shooting. And I can eat the other stuff as I'm driving. Tuna salad that you have to spoon onto a cracker. Not a good driving food. Bear with me for 2 seconds. I'm gonna do something. I'll disappear for like a second and then I'll be back. Alright, I'm back. Kukiana is in here. Frequent flyer on the channel. Thanks for stopping in. Sugar Smoke Queen. I've never seen this before. At all these state game lands, archery ranges, they have sign out that talks about all the regulations, and it's one of the rules is if there's more than one archer here, you shouldn't shoot more than 6 consecutive arrows so that people can go down range safely and then come back and shoot 6 more, whatever. That was what it was at the other range that is closer to my house. This one's near campus, and then there's another one close to my house. The other one has a sign that says you can't shoot more than 6 arrows consecutively before, going down and picking up arrows or whatever. This one says 5. I wonder how you make that distinction to decide one is 6 and one is 5. I don't know. Jacob Karstad says hi, hello. Yeah. So for anybody just coming in, wondering who's this guy eating tuna salad in his truck, we were out here at the archery range shooting. We've been shooting for a couple hours, taking a break, eating some lunch, and then we're gonna get back at it for a couple more minutes, maybe half an hour, and then I got to get back to campus for a meeting. But all right. Almost done the tuna. We're eating the parts of my lunch that I can't eat while driving, so that way I can effectively drive back to campus and finish my lunch. YouTube's weird sometimes. I'm getting as many views sitting here eating as I am when I'm out there actually shooting my bow. What's up with the algorithm, man? It can be confusing. All right. I can eat an apple with one hand, right? Yeah. And there's just do a little shift. All right, we don't need to eat that now. Just eating the parts that I cannot eat with one hand while driving. At least safely. I mean, you can do anything if you want to, but it's probably not safe. So that would include this nut mix, get a little water, get back out there, shoot a couple more shots, call it a day. It was a really good shooting session today. I've enjoyed the live. It's been a little bit of a lighter crowd than I'm used to on my lives, but hey, I've enjoyed hanging out with y'all. All right, y'all. Eat this last little bit of food, get out there, shoot a couple more shots. As I mentioned, nutrition to me, fitness, very important in general for your health, but also for performance in your outdoor activities. Is this the one with... No, this is the one with pumpkin seeds. I like the one with sunflower seeds too. We got a couple of these, a couple different varieties. We got... What's in here? Walnuts. Almonds. Dried cranberries. And pumpkin seeds. It's a good little mix there. Alright. One or two more handfuls. That's two. Alright. What's the battery percentage on the phone like? Okay. I'm gonna connect my power bank. Release back on. Get my charger. Okay. A little swig of water again. Alright, here we go. Ready to roll again. Get back out here, shoot some more. More archery. Alright, bear with me as I get you all moved over here. Getting it set up on the tripod. Sorry about the camera work, y'all. Alright, and then we're going to grab a third arrow because we had to scrap that one. Alright, and then tighten that down. Alright, that should be good and shielded from the wind as well. Grab a third arrow. Apkin Brown says hello. How's it going? We're shooting some archery. There you go, 32 viewers. Sweet. Alright. I think we got 2 arrows in the target at 50. Are they at 50? Oh no, they're sitting right there. Okay. We'll do a couple shots at 40. Alright, gonna go grab my arrows, take a quick mental break, couple second mental break to reset, and then we're gonna rip a couple shots from 40 yards in some wind. I've got a wind sock on there, but we got some significant wind today that we've been having to deal with all day. Wild in this wind. It was like wiggling like a snake in the wind, but it hit where it needed to, which is the point of fletching. Oh yeah. Ooh, slapping arrows at 40. That last one was a little punchy. The second one, I don't know, one of them I think I command shot on purpose. Or I've at least thought about command shooting on purpose because of how windy it was, and I was struggling with the float because my bow arm's getting pushed around by the wind. But they all broke really nice, and they're all actually higher than normal, or higher than they were. I wonder if my low problem was me struggling with the wind, because they were all low earlier and now they're right in the zone. So I don't know, sometimes weird things just happen, y'all. But there's the group from 40. These two were slapping, and then that one's dead middle. Check for damages. We're looking good. No visible damage. All right. Go to 50. Yeah, no. I mean, taking a bow and arrow into warfare is probably not a great idea. I mean, a long time ago maybe, but not now. Well, I mean, when bow and arrows were common in warfare, if you brought this thing into battle, people would be scared. I mean, this is an advanced bow. All right, 50 yards. I don't know. No? Consideration. It's getting a little cold with this wind chill. All right, 50 yards, adjust the sight tape. Take a moment to reset, and then let them fly. I don't know what was going on earlier, what I was doing in particular that made them all like an inch low. But we're in the money now. Sometimes that stuff just happens. And hey, it was like an inch low, not like a boat load low. And those little variances I can deal with. Big variances you don't want. Well, I know what happened there. That one went high. My big floofiness of this jacket was kind of puffed out like this. It got caught in the string as it was flying. That one went wacky. Let's see if we can recover from that. Those are things you have to consider, especially while hunting. If you have like a lot of big puffy layers, even if your forearm itself is out of the way of the string, that doesn't mean your clothes are. So that's a consideration. See if I can pull this away, down and away. Make sure that doesn't have ring in. That one was really good, right in the zone with the first one. Keg breaths dominance plan. I don't know what that is. And then we got someone else saying some other language. Not exactly sure what's going on here. Never heard of keg breaths dominance plan or Nam Myoho Renhe Kyo. Don't know what that means either. Oh man, yeah, so that chop that went high was because the string, as it was coming towards the string stop, got tangled up in my floofy brain jacket. It's spritzing here. It's not super obvious. And then these other two are on top of each other, man. But look at that. That's we got a little bit of wind drift going on to the left. They both broke in the middle. That wind, that left to right, is because of the wind. That's not me. The wind is going left all day. We've been having that issue the whole live, but there's only so much you can do in terms of getting the wind drift to calm down. So that's kind of something we got to deal with. And then this one was the one that got caught in my big floofiness of the jacket. I mean, check this out. My forearm is here. There's an extra 2.5 inches or so of width on my jacket because of the floofiness of it that can get caught up in my string. So you got to pay attention to that. Yes, sir. It's 50 yards. Go back and do it again. See if we can have no shots that have my jacket get caught. That would be ideal. Oh man, this wind is ripping across this field. This wind drift is real. Hopefully you guys can't hear it too much because of the windsock, but it is definitely ripping. Hey, Scooter, how's it going? Scooter, I may be fishing with Bob tomorrow. I'm not quite sure. I'm definitely going to see Bob, but I'm not exactly sure what it's going to look like in terms of us fishing, because I know he has a surgery. I'm actually going up to help him move a grill. But, yeah, I don't know what our fishing plans are going to look like afterwards, but definitely could be fishing with him. Irwando Demetrius, how's it going? Jacket got caught a little bit, but it didn't affect the shot too much. I gotta pay more attention to that, man. I don't typically wear this jacket while shooting. If it's raining and I'm shooting, I just kind of usually suck it up, but I gotta go back to campus. I have more classes, so I don't want to be soaking wet today. That was the idea, but that shot wasn't great. That one broke high. But... all right, one more. We have another archer here now, shooting a trad bow. So we gotta consider that in our timing of walking up and down range. So he's still setting up so I can go down there and collect arrows. I mean, the wind is definitely a real consideration, but given the fact that it's this windy, we're still shooting really well. Still shooting real well. So this top one is the one that just broke high, which I'm not really sure why that happened. And then the one on that one right there is, yeah, trad bows do rock. I have a trad bow. I didn't bring it out today, but I got one of those. I love it, man. This one was the one that got caught up in my sleeve a little bit. It didn't affect it too bad. This was the one that actually broke where it's supposed to. And then that's the one that just broke high. So not our best group, but it's still fine. They would have all been deer killers even from 50 yards, and that's not how far I'm shooting at deer, so that's a-okay with me. I'm shooting at deer from like 30, so if I can put, even on a not so good group, put a group together that would have been deer killers, that's fine by me. Yeah, that guy's got a trad bow. That's awesome. My trad bow, for anybody who's not familiar, has squirrel tail silencers that I made myself from a squirrel I shot. Pretty sweet. Yeah, good stuff, man. Nice shooting. Yeah, I mean, I'm still shooting generally pretty good. Oh, that might help in making sure I don't have issues with my sleeve if I actually closed it up all the way on my cuff. Yeah, it's still good shooting, just not my best shooting. Let's see if we can put a better group together right here. That first shot was a beauty. That's a good one. That's a beautiful grouping. That's a good recovery from that last group. Woo, dog, that's nice. You can't get excited till that last shot hits home. Then you can get excited about a good grouping. Oh, that is beautiful. Oh, y'all. Beautiful 50 yards grouping. Haha. There they are. That's what it looks like head on. They're all right in the money. That was beautiful. That's what we like to see. That's a good feeling from 50. That's honestly, I don't know. Should we end it there? I'm not going to top that today. I don't think, at least. Oh man, I might end it there. I don't have too much time, and I do want to go talk to this other archer. I love talking to other people at the range. Sometimes people don't want to talk to me, but yeah, I always go see if they're up to talking, up to discussing stuff. Always like seeing what other people do, how other people shoot. I think we can call it there. So yeah, I think that's not a bad place to call it. All right, y'all. I really enjoyed hanging with y'all today. It was a good one, good practice session, and yeah, we put some things in place that I think are really going to help me in the future as far as practicing on lives. What I've always said is that the hardest thing to do in my shooting is stay focused and stay consistent during a live, because I'm talking to you on the camera and then I go to shoot. And so we put some things in place today, only shooting 3 hours at a time maximum during the live, so we can kind of refocus. Taking some like physical time, very specific time to refocus between talking to you guys, walk over, reset, and then I can go forward with that. And I think that's really going to help. I think that's really important that we do that. And yeah. Anyway, thought that's really cool. We want to see the guys trad bow. Well, I can show you from a distance, but I don't like to like go up there with the camera and like be like, oh look, doing XYZ. So from a distance. So yeah, it's a really, really good thing here. Thanks for watching, Arcs. I appreciate it. I'll give you some. Give the people what they want. There it is. All right, y'all. So yeah, I'm gonna call it there. I don't think I'm topping that. That was the beauty of the grouping from 50. Really good practice session. Put some really good things in place to help me. And yeah, that is a longbow. I shoot a recurve. I've shot Woodsman's hybrid longbow. I really liked that thing. Still haven't bought it yet, but I might. It's cheap. So anyway, but yeah, might be live tomorrow for some fishing, but that's up in the air. So stay tuned. I got always got stuff I'm working on coming down the pipe for you guys. So have a good one. Really enjoyed having y'all. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time, potentially tomorrow. Adios.